Good evening, everyone, and welcome this evening. First, I'd like to say happy Inauguration Day. I hope everyone has enjoyed this day of history that has been made. We are excited and we are encouraged about the transition of power, but we're also encouraged this evening that you're taking the time out this evening to take back your own personal financial economy by looking at strategies on how to get out of debt. So I'd like to welcome you this evening. My name is Chandra Parks. I am the chair with the Economic Development Committee with the North Arundel County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. On behalf of our president, Madam Chair Sora Ashford, we'd like to thank you this evening for joining us. She is giving us a wave, so we are excited. This evening's workshop will be facilitated by my Sora, Jennifer Matthews, who is a financial expert who is awesome with helping us get our lives together, helping us to gather our coins. So any particular strategies on how to get out of debt, she is definitely a financial, expert. So we are excited. So I encourage you just to sit back and just to learn. Feel free to ask questions in the chat box because we are monitoring the chat box. So anytime that you have a question, we will be able to receive those questions and we'll ask those questions. So thank you for joining us this evening. So Jennifer.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I didn't know if it was me or Marlene who was up next. My dynamic Delta dear soror. I am so glad to be here. I got my Delta pearls on, chucks and pearls. So for the history that was made today. So super excited. Madam President's holding up her pearls. I see Sora Marlene has her pearls on. I dug out the Delta Sigma Theta pearls today. Excited to be here tonight. Got my earpiece hanging on, so don't worry about the red wire hanging down. So tonight is all about getting out of debt. So we're just going to jump into it. You definitely want to take notes. So I'm gonna give you like 30 seconds, grab something. I'm old school, paper and pencil. But if you new school, then grab your phone, grab your device if you're new school. But I'm old school, so that's your time. You need something to write with, and I'm just going to jump into it. And my sorors, you got the chat monitor, so we'll double back to the end, and I'll pick up your questions at the end. But tonight is all about getting out of debt. You do not have to be in debt, okay? This part is not in the presentation. There's good debt and there's bad debt, okay? So bad debt is like the credit cards. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket. It doesn't have a return on your investment, okay? So as a real estate investor, I have debt, but it puts money in my pocket. It doesn't take money out of my pocket. Okay. But credit cards, that's debt that sucks you dry. Okay. That's debt that sucks you dry. Student loans, that's a toss up. Okay. I invite you to two events. Write it down. Next month, on the second Wednesday, we're going to be talking about scholarships at our Wednesday night. Next second Wednesday, speaker is going to be talking about scholarships. Then on Saturday, March the 6th, we have a half-day conference. Some of you may not be used to spending a half day of your free weekend investing in yourself. Your formal education is what gets you a job and pays your bills. It's your informal education that really gets you ahead. This tonight is an example of an informal education. On Saturday, March the 6th, we have a half-day conference and it's free. And I'm here to tell you, speakers are dynamic. So next month, our monthly speaker, we have a panel talking about um, scholarships. On Saturday, March the 6th, we have a half day, all types of financial topics. We're going to kick it off with a dynamic panel on your financial mindset. Your self-talk may be the reason why you can't get to where you want to be financially. And I see Sora Chandra shaking her head because she talks about financial mindset a lot. But we have 3 powerhouse speakers on that panel. Then we have one of our sorority sisters out of Atlanta, Georgia, whose business is all about college for free. She has gotten kids full rides totaling over $40 million. So come back next month and then come back again Saturday, March the 6th. And you want to tell everybody who has kids, and I'm talking middle school and up, don't wait for high school, okay? So that way people are struggling with student loans, but you don't have to have student loans at all. You don't have to have student loans at all. Okay, so we're going to jump into tonight's presentation. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Okay, let's see here. Go into full mode, full screen mode. Okay, can you see my screen? Somebody give me a nod. Okay, thank you. All righty. So tonight we are talking about 5 simple steps to a debt-free life. Why do we have so much debt? Because for everything else, there's MasterCard. The media, the advertisers, the lobbyists, they want us to stay in debt. So that's why we have it. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. And I need to figure out how to update this slide. So in 2007, 2006, I left my job to have my own business full time. And the recession hit. I had a nice cushion of reserves. The recession hit, my business never got off the ground. I went through my cushion and started living on credit cards. I was broke. Okay. I was able to get a job that just barely met my minimum living expenses. So I wrote a book that told how I got back on my feet. Then in 2010, I had a really bad head injury, and it just knocked me out the game. And I still to this day have migraines related to that concussion 10 years ago. And then I decided to walk my talk and get out of debt. And that's why we're here tonight, because I wrote a book on how to get out of debt. So I'm here to tell you that yes, you can get out of debt. You really can. Debt, we don't think about being debt free because we're constantly bombarded with ads, commercials, buy this, buy that. And then we also want to be keeping up with the Joneses, because our neighbor has it, we have to have it. Or because our kids are under peer pressure and we're under adult pressure, we are constantly buying stuff. So tonight we're going to talk about getting out of debt, increasing your savings. All of that reduces your financial stress. And when you have less financial stress, you have more joy in your life. No, you can't work closer with me to make it happen. I didn't edit my slides. I've been working like really, really crazy. So no, you can't work closer with me. Okay, create an awareness of your debt. Who do you owe and how much do you owe? We'll talk about identifying extra cash to apply to your debt to increase your savings, okay? Use a simple system to pay off your debt and keep your debt under control. So the history of debt and credit. This to me is really interesting. Credit cards have not been around all that long, yet we are swimming in debt. The first American Express was in the 1950s. How old are we and how old are our parents? And credit was initially used for entertainment by the wealthy. Entertainment. And it was a piece of cardboard, like a business card. It was a piece of cardboard. It wasn't even plastic. Okay? Credit was used for entertainment, like going out to eat, to buy cars and buy houses. Credit as we know it, the little plastic card, was not widely available till 1970s. Again, when were you born? Visa came into being in 1976. I'm not going to date myself and tell you what grade I was in school. And MasterCard was called Master Charge. Now I'm really going to see how old you are. If you remember Master Charge, before there was a MasterCard. Okay? That's like 40 years. And what happens? We're a slave, ball and chain. We got the mortgage, we got the car payment, and we got multiple credit cards, ball and chain in 40 years. We don't know what to do without it. And it's just been 40 years. It's almost like this electronic leash. We don't know what to do without it. We just stuck. So the rules. Cash is king. You want to accumulate cash. Your credit score is queen. Credit scores over 700. Don't laugh, because it really is possible. If possible, you want to get it in the 740s. Yes, wherever you are on the credit score spectrum, you can get your credit score up. You can get your credit score up. It is possible. All right, why is this screen frozen? Okay, so let's talk real quick about financial literacy. The ability to understand money and how to manage it. This includes things like balancing bank accounts. Most people don't balance their checkbook. Oh, well, I bank online. You still got to balance it. Do you know how many people are scammed? They don't watch their bank accounts. They don't watch their credit card statements. Okay. One time I was skimmed. Okay. And that's when they put the piece over top of the ATM machine, and I put my card in and they copied my card. But because I watch my account, all of a sudden I started having charges, little teeny charges. They wanted to see if the card worked, out of Newark, New Jersey. Now I'm sitting in Baltimore. 7-Eleven, $1. Dunkin' Donuts, $2. Because they wanted to see if the card worked. And I picked it up the same day. Had the card cut off and got another card. But if you're not watching your account, you're not going to see that. Preparing a spending plan. A spending plan is what a budget really is a plan for how you spend your money. You get paid every other week or twice a month, once a month, whatever it is. Do you plan how you spend your money? Okay, so pre-COVID, we plan parties, we plan get-togethers. You plan to be on this Zoom tonight because you had to register. Plan to go out to eat, plan all kinds of things. But do you plan how you're going to spend that money that comes in every other week to sustain all those other things you plan for? The more you plan how you spend your income, the more money you will have every month. That's a guarantee that you can take to the bank. I have on my website a free spending plan template. You can go and download it. www.matthews, MATTHEWS, onmoney.com. Somebody can drop that in the chat. www.matthewsonmoney.com. Matthewsonmoney.com. It's a simple Excel spreadsheet. And the formulas are in there. Just plug the numbers in. And the math is done for you. I prefer to use an Excel spreadsheet so that you can see your numbers. And you keep updating it. Because the first time you do it, it might be negative, meaning that you have more bills than income. And that's fine. What? Yeah, it's fine because you wrote it down. And the goal is, if you have more bills than money, the first goal is to even it out, make some adjustments until your bills and your money are equal. Then keep making adjustments so that your money is more than your bills. But you have to start somewhere, and that's my point. Now, if that's too old-fashioned for you, which is truly the best way to do it, is to see your money. Okay, my colleagues in the industry are in love with an app called You Need a Budget, YNAB. You Need a Budget. I'm not into apps for a whole lot of reasons that I won't get into, but You Need a Budget is an app that my colleagues are in love with. I don't do apps, so that's not a recommendation. Okay. Saving for the future, we're going to talk about that and learn strategies for managing and or avoiding debt. So those are just some things to look at. So let's talk about who you owe and how much you owe. Well, who do you owe? I don't know. Well, start with the last 6 months of who you paid. Look at your checkbook or your online bank statements. Who are you paying? That's a start with who you owe. Also, get a free copy of your credit report. This is critical. You should be doing this anyway, especially after the Equifax data breach. www.annualcreditreport.com, right here on your screen. That is the government sanctioned site for getting your free credit report. It does not include your score, just your credit report. www.annualcreditreport.com. 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Experian and TransUnion, you can get 1 free credit report every 12 months. Because of the Equifax data breach, you can get Equifax credit report. I think you can get it every other month now because they had that huge data breach. And there was a settlement that would allow you to get free credit action and strong recommendation for people to put freezes on their credit reports. So that's a whole nother story on my YouTube channel. I have a couple of videos talking about the data breach. But for this purpose tonight of getting out of debt, your credit report also shows who you owe. Maybe somebody you forgot about. The other thing is maybe some errors on your credit report. So when you go to my website, the Federal Trade Commission has a great booklet on understanding your credit report and helps you to dispute errors that are on your credit report. That's also on my website. It's on the Federal Trade Commission's website, but you got to dig through 100 pages to get to it, 100 website pages to get to it. And it's on my website. You can just simply download it. And it's a very simple document that you can go through to help you read your credit report and also to dispute any errors that are on your credit report. So that's just a sidebar. Again, on my website, www.matthews, onmoney.com, that's where you can get a spending plan template, and you can get the Federal Trade Commission's booklet on understanding your credit report. Both of those are free downloads on my website. So on this page that we're looking at, this is where you can tell who you owe and how much you owe, because that's the first step to getting out of debt, is knowing who you owe and how much you owe. Okay, spending plan, we started talking about it. Commit to planning how you will spend your money from your income sources. You want to download a free spending plan template, there's my website. Record all your income and expenses, and I already said it's okay to have more expenses than income. I'm one of the few financial people that will tell you it's okay. Why? You have to start somewhere, and you need to look at your numbers. If you can't see it, you can't fix it. That's why I don't like apps. You can't see it. Like, take out the piece of paper and look at it. Okay? And then use what I'm about to share with you to change your numbers. So if these are the bills, okay, if these are the bills, you got more bills than money, use what I'm about to teach you to slowly change things and even it out, and then keep using it so that you have more money than bills. Okay? And that make that your goal, to get those bills down so that you have more money than bills. Because most folks are used to having more month than money, as the saying goes, okay? They run out of money before the end of the month. Doesn't have to be like that. Okay, so now here is a great way. I'm looking around, I don't have a little notebook handy. This will do. So here's a great way to find money. Keeping a spending journal. Okay, this just happens to be a little Post-it notepad, but you have a little notebook. It fits in your purse or your pocket, just a little notebook, and you write down every penny that you spend for 60 days. I don't care if cash, credit, debit, check. You give your kid a quarter to put it in a gumball machine. I don't know if they have gumball machines, but whatever. Write it in your notebook. Write it in your notebook. You do online banking, you write it in your notebook. Write down every penny that you spend. At the end of each week, pick up your notebook and look at your entries. Look at what you spent. Is there any opportunity to make any adjustments as a way of creating cash? And if so, make the adjustment and pocket the difference. Do you see any patterns, any habits, any trends? What do you see? The notebook will tell you. Here's the thing. When you fill out that notebook the first week, you're going to be mad at yourself. I'm telling you now. You're going to be mad at yourself. When you see what you spend money on, you're going to be mad at yourself. And you're going to stop writing in your notebook. That's why I say 60 days. Because then you're going to get mad at yourself for stopping, and you're going to start again. And then you're going to forget, and you're going to start again. It takes 60 days to get 30 days worth of data. That's why you got to do it for 60 days, because we need 30 days of good data. so that you can see what your patterns and habits are and where your opportunities are to make adjustments. Okay, so I'm gonna go back for a second. So the first time I did this, I realized I eat my money. I eat my money. I would go eat out for lunch. I go to the supermarket on the way home. And I'd be like, well, I worked all day and I don't went to the supermarket. I don't feel like cooking. And then with a car full of groceries, I would go and buy some dinner. And I never noticed it until I did the notebook. I had a client who did the notebook, and he never noticed how much money he spent buying books and magazines. And he was like, well, I got a library card. I pay taxes to keep the library open. It's called the Free Library of Philadelphia. And the notebook showed him that he needed to go use the library instead of buying books and magazines. Another time I did the notebook, because I do it myself from time to time to see what I'm spending my money on. It was parking. I couldn't believe it was parking. The notebook, it will be so revealing. And don't think that just because we're in COVID, it's not going to be revealing. Oh, it will be revealing. It will be revealing. Okay, so now let's talk about savings, because this is the neglected IOU. We do not pay ourselves first with savings. We do not pay ourselves first. Look at who we do pay. Do our monthly savings deposits equal our online spending? Let's think about that one. Do our monthly savings deposits equal our online spending? Anybody need a pedicure by now? I'm sorry if I'm stepping on your toes. Because I'm going to tell on myself. I don't know what my problem was, but somewhere around August or September, I went on an online spending spree. My sorors, y'all know what the creamery is or the crackery. I had to get out. I just went on a spending spree, and that is so unlike me. That is so not like me. And I did. I went on an online spending spree. But do our monthly savings deposits equal our online spending? So put your savings on autopilot. Put your savings on autopilot. Jennifer, what do you mean? Using a spending plan is going to help you free up some cash. Using the notebook is definitely going to show you how to free up some cash. The cash that you free up, take half of it and automatically put it in savings. What does that mean? Open an online bank account. I'm talking about one of those banks that doesn't have any branches, okay? Something like Ally, Charles Schwab, I don't know. If you Google high interest savings accounts, you will get a list. Bankrate.com, Motley Fool, Huffington Post, Places like that publish lists all the time of banks with high interest savings accounts, and they're usually online banks. So I used to have ING Direct, and they sold to Capital One, and I don't like Capital One, but I was too lazy to move because they have everything was already set up with the automatic transfers, and I didn't feel like changing it. So I have that. But you want to open an online bank account, and then you want to set it up so that every payday money automatically transfers to that bank. And you just need one savings account, and then they let you set up sub accounts. So I have one account with Capital One, and then underneath that account, I have all kinds of sub accounts. So to the newest members of North Arundel County alumni chapters, I suggest you set up a Delta account. I have a Delta account. And out of every paycheck, money goes into my Delta account. So when it's time to pay dues, my money is in the bank. It's not in my budget. It's not in my spending plan. So it's not expensive to be a Delta. If you have kids and they have extracurricular activities, I don't know, football and ballet and all that kind of stuff, summer camp, figure out the costs. So round number, $1,200 a year is $100 a month, and you get paid every other week. That's $50 per pay.
Certain things that Source Smith
So
said
somebody came off mute.
The insinuation of the in-person.
So can one of the moderators make sure everyone's muted, please?
Confirmation, because I feel
Thank you, moderators.
I feel that they'll probably offer.
Thank you, moderators. So set up in that instance, if let's say your child's extracurricular activities are $1,200 per year, so $100 per month, you get paid every other week. That's $50 per paycheck. So if you take $50 per paycheck and you have it automatically transferred every payday, you don't get hit with a monster summer camp bill because it's already in the bank. It's already in the bank. And you can have all these different sub accounts. So I tell folks my favorite sub account now, I love Delta Sigma Theta, and my chapter president may still be on the line, but my favorite sub account is named House Cleaner. I love to support small business that cleans houses. And every 2 to 3 months, have somebody come in and clean my house. I work hard. That's my self-care. Let somebody else crawl down in the corners and get all that dirt and dust out the corners. Okay? You can name whatever you want. Name it whatever you want. And you can have whatever you want. Okay? Had a client one time, she liked to go to casino. I said, okay, well, name one casino. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. This was before Maryland had casinos and you had to go to West Virginia. Name a casino. If there's money in it, go to casino. No money in it, stay home. You like shoes? Name it shoes. If it's got money in it, go shoe shopping. No money in it, no shoes. Wear the ones you have. They got tags on them anyway. Okay? Schedule automatic transfers every payday or every other payday or once a month. Regularly increase the amount of your transfers until you are saving at least 10% of your income. That's paying ourselves first. That's how we deal with the IOU and we grow our savings. And I mean, it grows. True story. I was in my Capital One account today and I'm looking and I'm like, that balance doesn't look right. And I went in and I clicked and I said, lo and behold, because I refinanced my mortgage and So I had to, stop and change because my mortgage gets automatically paid out of Capital One. So I transfer, have the automatic transfer set up. When I reset up the mortgage to the new account number, I did something wrong. And there's an extra mortgage payment in my Capital One account. Hot dog. Automatic savings. I said, you know what? I'm going to leave it over there. I'm going to leave it over there. Because at first I was like, what can I do with that? Then I said, leave it over there. Leave it over there. And the other cool thing about this is if you get paid every other week, there's 2 months where you get 3 paychecks. You get an extra automatic transfer in those 2 months. Automatically, you're getting an extra dump in your savings account. I'm just saying. Okay? So let's move on. So talking about all this money, I'm like, well, you're like, well, where's it going to come from? Because I'm broke, but I'm still shopping. I'm straight out of money. But we don't want you to be a slave to debt rather. Okay, so the workday pre-COVID, and some folks are still in the office anyway. Okay, so we drink coffee in the mornings. I don't drink coffee, but some folks are coffee drinkers. So you got the dollar coffee from McDonald's and 7-Eleven, and then you got the Starbucks, which Starbucks is not hurting in COVID, because when I see Starbucks, their line looks like Chick-fil-A is wrapped around twice. Okay, so you got the $5 latte and you got the dollar cup of coffee. So you marry it and you come up with $2 a cup. 5 days a week is $10. You go to work 4 weeks in a month is $40. Did you know you're spending $500 a year on coffee with the cheap stuff? But some of y'all do Starbucks every day. But it's $500 a year if you're drinking the cheap stuff. Now, if you think you needed a pedicure before, whew, you might need a podiatrist now. Okay, so now you got your coffee, but you know you need a sandwich. Not a sandwich, but a sandwich. Oh man, this closed caption is good. It picked up sandwich. I wanted to see how it spelled it. Okay, so your sandwich is $4. 5 days a week is $20. 4 weeks in a month is $80. Now, your coffee and your sandwich, look on the screen, $1,500 a year, and we haven't even gotten to work yet. Haven't said good morning to our boss at that job we love so much. All right, now it's lunchtime. If you don't work in DC, you might get away with $8 for lunch. If you work in DC, that's just buying you the bread, nothing in between. $8 for lunch. 5 days a week is $40. 4 weeks is $160. We're spending almost $2,000 a year on lunch. Coffee, breakfast, and lunch. $3,500 a year. But we broke. We don't have any money. But we still shopping. We're in debt. And then what happens at 2 o'clock? Our blood sugar starts to drop. We gotta go to the vending machine. Gotta get us a snack. It's about $2 now at the vending machine. We gotta get something to wash it down with. So we're spending $350. We carry that all the way across. That's about $850 a year. If you're a smoker, you wish that cigarettes were still $6 a pack. 7 days a week is over $2,000 a year. So when you add that up, $6,216 per year. And that's just the work week. That's just Monday through Friday. We have not gone to happy hour. We have not gone out to dinner. We have not gone to the movies. We have not done anything on the weekends. No extracurricular activities, nothing. This is just the work day. So let's break this down. The good news, I don't believe in cold turkey, except for smoking. We'll get to that in a moment. Okay, let's look at coffee, breakfast, and lunch. That's about $3,500 a year. What if you brought that from home half the time? What if brought your coffee from home, try out some coffee, some flavors, some creamers, whatever, and bring your lunch? That puts $1,750 in your pocket. And you eat out the other half of the time. Compromise. Put $1,750 in your pocket, you spend $1,750. So that's $1,750 towards getting out of debt. Now, the snacks and the bottled water. Let's talk about that. So, let me see, what supermarket was I in? I was in ShopRite. But ShopRite had Deer Park 3 cases, 24 for $9. And I saw the same thing in Giant as well. That's 72 bottles of water for $9. That'd take you a good ways through the year. 72 bottles of water. If you drink soda, you buy it when it's on sale. They were 5-6 packs for $11, or you can get the 12 pack of cans for 4 for $11 or something like that. So you're getting your same exact snack. You're just buying it differently. When it comes to the snack itself, you just go to BJ's, Costco, Walmart, whatever. You buy the same exact thing you're getting in the vending machine, but you are buying it differently. So instead of paying $8.50, you can get a year's worth of snacks literally for about $200 and bring it from home, stick it under your desk or in a drawer and save $6.50. So you save $17.50 at the top and you save $6.50 off of that line that you can then apply towards your debt. Part to savings, part to debt, or all to debt if you have some money saved up. Just on this one slide, I've given you guys over $2,000 on this one slide. Now, cigarettes are a whole nother story. If you're a smoker, that's an addiction. And that's a medical issue. So for this one, I do advocate for cold turkey. However, this one, you involve your medical provider. My father smoked 2 to 4 packs of cigarettes a day for about 40 some years. He did acupuncture cold turkey. He stopped. When he did it, acupuncture was not covered by insurance. I've saved you over $2,000 on this slide. You can work with your medical provider and come up with the best way to stop smoking for you because of health reasons. And with the $2,000 you saved, you have the money for whatever if it's not covered by insurance. Acupuncture, hypnosis, the patch, whatever, if it's not covered by insurance, I've shown you how to save money on this slide right here. So I hope that you would stop smoking because it's not healthy, which is why that's the one thing I hope you would do cold turkey. And when it comes to using the notebook, this slide shows up in your notebook. Plus your notebook will pick up your nights and your weekends. This is just a work day. Moving on. Okay. Getting out of debt and creating cash, it takes some patience and some nurturing. So we talked about the spending journal. Another thing you can do is review all your bills and expenses and look for ways to cut each one by $10, up to $50. Okay, so it's cold outside, but can you adjust your thermostat so that your heating bill is not so high? Okay, maybe not walk around the house in a t-shirt, adjust the thermostat a little bit and wear something long sleeve in the house in the winter. In the summer, do the opposite. Maybe have the house temperature just be a little bit warmer, not run the air conditioner all the time, okay? Involve your family members in a savings or cash creation contest. When it's their idea on how to save money or, come up with cash, they're more likely to follow it. Another cool thing is at the end of every day, take the dollar bills out your pocket and put them in the desk drawer. At the end of the month, see how many dollars are in there, and then that's your pizza night money. Because not in your budget. Those are the leftover dollar bills from the day. Everybody throw their dollar bills in the drawer. And then you're ordering out, but you're not impacting your spending plan. And it's okay to make adjustments because that's how you're going to get your money to be even and then have more money than bills, by making adjustments. So now that I showed you how to have extra cash to pay off your debt, let's talk about getting out of debt. And this is Dave Ramsey's snowball. He didn't create it. He's just a marketing machine. He put a name on it and he marketed it, but he did not create the snowball. He just created the name and marketed it. Okay, you pay off your bills one at a time. You pay all of your bills, the minimum payment, but you target one. You target the one with the smallest balance. And then you celebrate your success after each bill is paid off. Time out. We set a limit. Okay? You pay off a $500 Visa bill and you celebrate with a $1,000 trip to Jamaica. I think we messed up. We defeated the purpose. Okay? You pay off a $500 Visa bill. Okay, you might go get you a $50 massage paid in cash with a Groupon. Okay, you get a $50 massage with a Groupon. Okay, use the template on the next pages to systematically pay down your debt. What you will see on the next pages is going to carry across. So if you don't pick it all up on one slide, you're going to see it over and over again. Okay, step one, list each debt, including the name, column A, the total outstanding balance, column B, and you're going to see this on the next slide as well. Column C is the minimum payment they will accept. Column D is what you actually pay, because we are famous for rounding stuff up. And column E is the difference between what you actually pay and the minimum payment due. Because again, we're famous for rounding stuff up because we're lazy. We're not going to write it out to the penny. We're just going to round it up. Okay? That's how you set up your sheet. And again, you can do this in Excel really easy. Step two, you want to sort. That's why Excel is easy. You want to sort your list and put the debt with the smallest balance at the top of your list. So again, A is who you owe. And again, we pulled that from our checkbook and our credit report. So A is who you owe. B is the total balance, and now we've sorted it. So the smallest balance is on top because that's our bullseye debt. That's the one we're focusing on. The largest is on the bottom. For most people, that's like the mortgage or the student loan or something like that. C is the minimum payment due each month. D is the actual payment, because a lot of times we round stuff up. And column E is the difference between the actual payment and the minimum payment. Okay. Step 3. Now you want to go to that column that's the difference. And you want to add up, because this is your overage. This is how much extra you pay out every month. Okay, so you'll see this in a real live example shortly. So this is the difference between what you actually pay on each bill and the minimum amount, and you're going to add it up and see what the total is. How much extra do you pay on your bills each month? And that's the column total. So we're going to take the column total and we're going to take that and put it on the bullseye debt, which is our smallest balance. And we're going to pay the minimum amount to the penny on all our other bills. That's how the debt snowball works. So we're going to take all our extra money and we're going to put it on our target bullseye debt, which is the smallest balance. And then on everything else, we pay the minimum amount to the penny. If you have an extra penny, it goes on the smallest debt. Find $5 on the street, put it on the smallest debt. All your effort goes into the smallest debt. So here's an example. Column A, you list the creditor name. So now this is a generic example, but in real life, you would put in the name, you know, Bank of America is instead of Visa 2. University of Maryland would be the hospital bill. American Express. Nissan is your car note. Chase would be your Visa. Your mortgage is Wells Fargo. I don't know. Okay. And then column B is sorted with the smallest balance on top. The minimum payment is listed in column C. Skip column F for right now. Column D is the actual payment. Okay. And then column E is the difference. So looking at Visa number 2, the minimum monthly payment is $15. The actual payment is $25. So the difference is 25 minus 15 is $10. The hospital bill, the minimum payment is 15. I'm actually paying them 15. So the difference is 0. American Express, the minimum is $49.16. I send them 50. The difference is 84 cents, and so on down the line. When I add up column E, the column total is $43.41. Now I take my column total and I put it on my bullseye debt. That's column F. So I take my column total of $43.41 and I take it and I apply it to my bullseye debt. My minimum payment on my bullseye debt is $15. I add my column total, which is $43.41, and then I pay the minimum to the penny on all of my other debts for the month. So I focus all of my effort on that first bill. And then I pay the minimum to the penny. Any extra money I get it goes on the bullseye debt, which is the one at the top of the list. It goes on the bullseye debt, which is the one at the top of the list. So step 5, when your first bill is paid off, add the full amount of what you had been paying on the first bill, which is in our case, $15 plus the $43.41, which is a total of $58.41 to the second bill on your list. Okay, so you see I crossed out the Visa because we were paying $58.41, so it got paid off pretty quickly in less than 6 months. And so now that $58.41 gets added to the next bill. So we've been paying down the hospital bill, so the balance is no longer $768. It's less than that, okay? So we add, the Visa bill is gone, so the whole $58.41 now shifts down to the next bullseye debt, because now the hospital bill is in the top position. And so now we focus all of our efforts on the hospital bill. And you keep doing this until all of your debts are paid off. Okay, so now I can't see the chat, but let me say one thing about this slide. You always start by paying off the bill with the smallest balance. That shows you that the system works. Then, once you have the success and the satisfaction of knowing that the system works, some people then want to say, well, why don't I pay off the bill with the highest interest? Why am I paying off the bill with the smallest balance? It gives you a sense of satisfaction. It gives you a taste of success. For your second bill, you have a choice. You can keep going with the smallest balance, like you see here on the slide, or if you want to switch and put a bill with the highest interest rate into slot number 2, that's your choice. But you always start with the bill with the smallest balance so that you see that the system works and you have that sense of accomplishment, because that momentum is what's going to carry you forward. Because that's usually a question that I get is, why do we do the bill with the smallest balance instead of the bill with the highest interest rate? So we start with the one with the smallest balance, and then it's your choice whether you want to keep going with the smallest balance or if you want to move to the number 2 bill to be the one with the highest interest rate. That's up to you. Okay, winding down. To keep your debt under control, stick with your spending plan and stick with your journal. Wait 3 days before making an impulsive or unplanned purchase. I'm talking to myself because I went on that little online shopping spree and I didn't do this. Okay, wait 3 days. And it's harder when an online purchase is in your back pocket. Open multiple savings accounts. You have that one online savings account, and then you can have those sub accounts underneath of it. That's what I mean by multiple savings account. It's the one account with those little accounts under it, those sub accounts under it. And you can name them things that you want: a vacation, a shopping, a college. I always recommend a Christmas account. Christmas comes the same time every year and people are always broke. I don't understand it. And then I'll also recommend you buy your gifts all year long so you're done by September like I am, okay? If you like massages, open an account for that. Whatever it is, open an account for it. And even if it's just $10, set up an automatic transfer, on your payday or once a month. Use some or all of the money that I've shown you how to create for your deposits. Okay? Have an accountability partner. Get an accountability partner. An accountability partner is not all in your business. You're not opening your bank account to your accountability partner. You're saying to your accountability partner, yes, I'm on track with my debt elimination plan. Yes, I got my credit reports. Yes, I set up my bank account, my accounts and my transfers, okay? All right, I messed up, I went shopping. Okay, accountability. You're not saying, oh, this is what my salary is. You know, this is what my credit score is. If y'all want to go that deep, you can go that deep, but your accountability partner is you saying, okay, my goal is to pay off 3 credit cards by the end of 2021. And here's how I'm going to do it. And I need you to hold me accountable. My weakness is Starbucks. I need you to help me stay away from Starbucks. That's accountability. If you want to share the numbers, that's on you. Trying to advance the slides here. We're almost at the end. There we go. Okay, so here are the 5 simple steps to a debt-free life. Number 1, list your creditors. Know who you owe and how much you owe to each creditor. Include money that may not be on your credit report. Did you borrow money from somebody? List it. Make good on your promise to repay. Somebody loaned you $500, put them on your list. Write and use your spending plan. It's on the website, www.matthewsonmoney.com, or You Need a Budget. That's the app, YNAB. You Need a Budget is the app. Step 3, write and use a spending journal. That's the little book for 60 days, at least 60 days. It helps you create cash. It helps you see where your money is going. Some of you have really smart kids. You work hard to make your kids smart. They are really smart. They're hitting you in your wallet twice, sometimes 3 times, and you don't know it, but your notebook will show it to you. Step 4, set up an automatic savings account. Open a separate savings account and set up automatic transfers. You want to save at least $2,000 for unexpected expenses so you do not add to your debt while you're working to eliminate debt. What do I mean? If you drive a car and you run over a nail in the sidewall, that's not an emergency. It's maintenance. Not an emergency. If you have a car, tires are maintenance, brakes are maintenance, not an emergency. The location, if you get a flat tire somewhere that's not safe, is an emergency. The fact that you need a tire is not an emergency. And you should have money in the bank to cover tires. You should have money in the bank to cover maintenance on your car at all times. Okay. So set up those automatic savings so that you have money. I just spent $600 as my heater over my shoulder. 600, the part was 400 and $225 for installation, $625, because the motor went on my heater. I have a pipe over here in the corner because I mean to have it available. I forgot. It's about as long as my hand. Cost me $1,200, and it's not as big around as a quarter. It was leaking. Cost me $1,200. If you own a home, it's maintenance. It would have been an emergency if it burst and flooded the house, but it dripped a leak. Step 5, write your debt elimination plan. Follow the 5 steps of write your debt elimination plan, okay? Focus on any and all extra money on this debt. This is your bullseye debt. You can personalize your debt elimination plan, okay? After you eliminate your first debt, identify which debt you will pay off second. Do you want to continue with the smallest debt first, or do you want to switch to something like the highest interest rate? You can climb out of debt. You can be debt free. So what did we cover? How to be aware of your debt, who you owe, and how much you owe. And that was your checkbook register, your online bank statements, how much you owe, pulling your credit report. How to identify extra cash was the spending journal and the spending plan. Okay, how to increase your savings, a simple system to pay off your debt, and ways to keep your debt under control. Your mission, should you choose to accept, follow these steps and the ideas presented and start systematically paying down your debt. Increase your savings, even if it's just $10 a month. Start somewhere. Stay true to yourself, stay true to your goals, and stay true to your family. Because yes, you can get out of debt. Yes, you can increase your savings. Yes, you can reduce your financial stress. And yes, you can have more joy in your life. And with that, I say thank you very much. And I see the chat has blown up.
I thank you, Sir Jennifer, for this wonderful information. So we do have some questions. We do have some celebrations that have been taking place in the chat. So if people don't mind, I just want to highlight the celebrations. A couple of people were mentioning in the chat as you were talking about the snowball method of paying off debt. So I think we have Gina. She has paid off, I think, about $27,000 worth in like credit card debt. We have another young lady who has knocked out about $4,000 in debt. We have someone who has is on track as of March of 2020. 2021, in a few more weeks, upcoming weeks, will be knocking off some debt as well. So those were like the celebrations. That's the testimonies of encouragement of how people are utilizing the snowball method, how people are utilizing the avalanche, method in terms of paying off debt. We do have some questions, and we have about 3 questions, and one of the questions, Jennifer, had to do with just how do you go about finding is there a report where you can find your credit score?
Yes, at annualcreditreport.com you can purchase your credit score. Used to be, I think, $6 or $7 per score, and like maybe $7 per score and 3 for 15 or something. It's a nominal fee. But at annualcreditreport.com, you can purchase your scores.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to also share, because due to COVID, you're able to actually pull your credit report for annualcreditreport.com on a weekly basis up until April 2021. So you can pull as many copies of your credit report for free. Another question that was asked as relates to savings and putting your savings on automatic, what percentage should you pay yourself when it comes to saving?
Ideally, it should be 10% or more, but it takes most people time to work up to that amount. So here's my suggestion. First of all, with your employer, if they offer a retirement plan, you should be maxing that out, the minimum to get the maximum match. Then you also want to work with an external financial advisor so that you make sure that you have an external plan, and you should know what your goals are. So if you have children or a family, want to buy a house, etc., so that they can help you save, like your retirement age. Do you want to work until you're 67, 68, or do you want to retire sooner? So you have your employer plan, and then you have an external plan that's working as well. And on top of that, you should have everyday savings. And that is, so you have your car repairs, your vacation, you have, your children's activities, etc. So you really want to be saving in 3 different pots. It sounds like a lot and it may sound overwhelming, but when you systematize it and you put things on automatic, a great book to read is David Bach, The Automatic Millionaire. And he has, I haven't read his new one, The Latte Factor, but I heard it was good. And he has one called Smart Women Finish Rich. So I'll just type his name in the chat. And most libraries are open. You just have to reserve put a hold on a book and then go and pick it up. They'll bring it to your car. So David Bach, The Automatic Millionaire, and he talks about putting your savings on autopilot. So basically 3 pots of money through your employer, especially if they do a match, an external financial planner or financial advisor, and then you always want to have, I like to say 12 months, 6 to 12 months of money saved up. I didn't share, and I meant to share this in the beginning, my most recent, I don't want to say financial challenge. I don't know what I want to call it, but I got sick at the end of 2017 and had to leave the workplace and didn't go back. I left work December 2017 and didn't go back to work until March of 2020. And I had, you might as well say no income. I had next to no income for all of that time, completely unexpected with a mortgage. But because I went into it debt free, I was able to make it. So you never know when something is going to happen. So it is really important that you be prepared for the unexpected, because you just don't know. You just don't know. And that's the 3rd time that health issues took me out the workplace.
So another question that came up in the chat is, how do you go about looking for a financial planner or advisor? And what are some of the questions that we should be asking to make sure that he or she may be a good fit for us?
You want to start with recommendations from people that you know. And I don't mean, don't take this wrong way, but not broke people. People who appear to be doing okay. We have on March the 6th, 3, I think, at least 2, maybe 3 speaking on March the 6th. you can, there's the Quad A, African American Association, Financial Advisors, African American, Quad A, 4 A's, African American, something like that. African American Association Financial Advisors. I should know. Sorolanta Mott is a founder, and they're locally founded. Sorolanta Mott Evans is a founder. I'll put it in the chat.
Another one of the questions.
And then in terms of what to ask, you can Google questions to ask a financial advisor or financial planner. But the most important thing is to have your goals, what it is that you want to accomplish. So, like I said, your retirement age, if you have children, if you have a house or want to buy a house, if you are married, want to get married, things like that that have a cost attached to them, affect your finances and your goals. Have those questions. The other thing that I tell people is you're essentially going to marry your money with this person. So how do you feel, like that sixth sense? How do you feel about this person? Is there a connection? Because you're investing your money with their company, but you have to kind of feel connected and a relationship with them, so that you get along. It's not somebody that you want to butt heads with. So did they take an interest in you and your goals, or did you just feel like they were just trying to sell you whatever the product of the month was? I mean, they are salespeople and they do work on commission. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how they make their living. But were they more interested in you and your goals, and their commission was secondary?
Thank you for that, information in terms of how to look for a financial advisor person that is definitely a good match for you. Then another question was the slides that you utilized, Jennifer. Will they be available after this presentation?
I pulled the wrong slide deck, so I would not make them available.
Okay. So this presentation is being recorded, so definitely be sure to look at our YouTube page. Follow Norfolk Arundel County Alumni Chapter on YouTube. We will be putting up a recording of this presentation. So if you wanted to go back and just hear the overall presentation again, therefore you will have that information. And then additionally, also within the chat, individuals have shared some wonderful resources. Some individuals were interested in wanting to do banking with Black-owned banks. So within the state of Maryland and DC, there is the Harbor Bank and Industrial Bank. There is definitely another Black bank that will be opening up online soon, that everyone's familiar with, that Killer Mike has been talking about, the Greenwood Bank. So that was information. And then additionally, just some other resources in terms of how to check your credit score. You utilizing some apps such as Credit Karma and Credit Sesame. Another budgeting app that was recommended was Every Dollar, which is a budgeting app. So there are definitely some, resources. Continue to Google. There are some free money resources that are, out there. And one of the key things that a lot of people were saying in the chat that kind of chimed in is just looking at utilizing the strategies that best works for you and your household. So, talking about the snowball method, the avalanche, people were talking about once they leave here, going to utilize and re-up the date their Excel spreadsheet. So we are making sure that we are tracking our money and definitely utilizing the little money journal to see where our money is going. I know for me, um, Chick-fil-A was a hot topic in the chat. And so I definitely got to let go of the sweet tea. I don't know what you have to let go of, but definitely this has been very opening just in terms to see where our money go, how we are tracking that, and how small changes can definitely help us out to be prepared in the long run if something were to happen, and as well as being able to decrease our debt. And so with that, if Sora Marlene is still on, if she would be so kind to kick us off, I do apologize, didn't start out with it, but just leave us with a financial health tip or a health tip, because health is wealth. And so we want to make sure we are going to be around so we can enjoy the wealth that we will be walking in. So she could just share something about a health strategy that will help us out.
Okay, I'll be quick with this one. I'm going to talk about how important it is to get enough oxygen in our bodies. If your body is adequately supplied with oxygen, it supplies your muscles, your organs, and your brains. But doctors have been doing studies and they're finding that most of us don't breathe properly. And now that we're wearing masks, it makes it even more difficult to get the amount of oxygen we have. So just a couple of tips on importance of breathing properly. Breathe in through your nose. It's much better than your mouth. Most of us do breathe in through our nose, hopefully. Because your nose is built to filter and to heat raw air. When you breathe in through your mouth, you're getting everything that's in the air in you. So make sure you're breathing through your nose and breathe slowly. Inhale slowly, wait a couple of seconds, and then exhale slowly. And you can exhale through your mouth. It's okay to exhale through your mouth. Breathing deep and slow is needed to get the amount of oxygen in your body that helps you to function properly. And let's see, I have one more tip. Um, with your mask and breathing, just before you put on your mask, take about 5 of those really deep and slow breaths. And then do that while you have your mask on. And when you take your mask off, do the same thing. If you work in an environment that requires you to wear a mask all day long, whenever you get an opportunity, take a break, preferably outside where there's fresh air to breathe, or someplace where there are not a lot of people, of course, so that you can take off your mask and get the oxygen needed to make your brain function properly. So take a deep breath, wear your mask, wash your hands, and keep your distance. Thank you.
Thank you, Marlene. Definitely, that was simple, but definitely it ties into as a great tip, because oftentimes people do get stressed out about money, and something
Yes.
as simply taking a deep breath in and out is a
Yes.
great way to relax and reduce
Is.
the anxiety that you may have when you're facing stress when it comes to
It
money.
really
So
is.
definitely that's something you can utilize each and every day. The moment, just being able, as she said, to take it, to breathe in and just to breathe, breathe out. So thank
Practice
you.
that. Yeah,
And
practice.
yes, definitely. So before we
Make it.
go here, let's take this,
Yeah.
if we can, just take a moment just to
And
practice a deep breath. So I'm going to say everyone just to take, and we're going to hold it for 5, 5
yeah.
count. Breathe
Fill your
in through
lungs.
your nose.
Fill your lungs with air.
Fill your lungs. Go ahead.
Not shallow breathing.
Yes, Marlene, go ahead and lead us in this exercise. Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to inhale to a count of 4, slowly through your nose. Make sure you're filling up your belly so that it pushes down on your diaphragm. Diaphragm breathing is what relaxes you. So inhale to a count of 4. Hold it. Exhale slowly through your mouth. If you do that 5 times, practice that in bed and practice that when you get up in the morning so that you can train your body and your mind to breathe the way you're supposed to breathe.
Thank you. Oh, wow. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Sora Jennifer. Thank you, Sora Marlene, for the information that you have provided for us today. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you for spending your time this evening to come out just to learn how to take back your own personal economy by getting out of debt, by creating a new savings plan that will propel you forward. So we thank you for coming out. Just briefly, just 2 quick reminders, as Sora Jennifer mentioned it earlier, that our next workshop will be the second Wednesday in February on college planning and scholarships. So please, if you know any parents and you're looking to send your children, your loved ones to school, we have an awesome, panel. And then feel free to join us again. We encourage you, we're inviting you to join us for our March 6th workshops, a half-day financial expo that is sure to fill you up, your mind, your spirit, and your soul on your journey on financial destination success, because we're going higher and higher in 2021. So thank you, everyone, for coming out this evening. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you all. Very great presentation.